So, we are starting in the hole, which I'm kind of used to. And we're on the draw, and our hand is reasonably solid. So, let's do this. Oh, I'm about to get Merfolked. Merfolked. Could Serum Visions. Probably get Curse Catchered. Could also Spell Snare a Lord. That might also get Curse Catchered. And I think we're going to fetch 2 duels here. So, being on the draw, fairly problematic, because otherwise we could have gone Serum Visions and then Spell Snare around this Curse Catcher, but as is, we take 3 to trade for our opponent's Curse Catcher, which is also fine. And then we're going to fetch a Steam Vents here and play a Serum Vision, so hopefully find a 3rd land, so we can go ham with these Kolaghan's commands. And this appears to be a grind 'em out type of game. Hopefully our opponent does not have another Lord. That would be problematic. Then I'm not sure what I would do. We would need to find a lightning bolt. There's a bolt. Also have the twin, but I'm going to push that. And a terminate, which I'm also going to push. Because if we find a land, that turns on our 2 Kolaghan's commands. So let's hope that this all works out here. Also turns on our Snapcaster Mage. Ooh, Spreading Seas is quite good. So we're just going to bolt this thing right now. And unfortunately cannot follow that with a Tassiger because of lay Spreading Seas. So have a bunch of bolts. Hopefully are not staring down a Master Waves or anything. Another Spreading Seas. We're in trouble. Our mono blue deck is not very good. In case you were wondering. So now we are going to play the Ambush Viper Snapcaster to kill the Curse Catcher since we can't really do anything else. It's pretty unfortunate. Oh, Island Walk. Never mind. Oh, another island. Not really what we wanted, but we are on the offensive. Even if my opponent didn't have Island Walk, I still would have run out the Snapcaster, but that's no excuse for not realizing that my opponent's Curse Catcher had Island Walk. So Mutavault is going to get fired up. We are going to Pestermite. That will tap the Mutavault because that's the biggest thing. And then it also makes it so the Master can't really attack, which is good. So we take another hit for 2. But we are losing. We're losing quite badly. If we had more lands, I think things would be okay. But our thing just got dismembered. So now we're taking a hit for 4. So even worse. There's a Delta. Unfortunately not a Tarn. We blew through 2 Tarns already. But maybe we can make a little something happen here. Get the Blood Crypt, bolt the Master, and then have a blocker, potentially. Hopefully nothing goes too terribly wrong, but not holding my breath on this one for sure. It's not looking good. Double Spreading Seas is a beaten. So Blood Crypt down to 5. Lightning Bolt. Vial for 2. Another Lord, and we're still dead? Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So, Pyroclasm I like. Staticaster is reasonable against Curse Catcher and Silvergale Adept, but also takes out all the Master of Waves tokens, which is good. Kolagon's Command is nice. And Spellstare is pretty nice. Cryptic is not nice. And then it's whether or not we want to keep in the twin combo. Like, we could just keep the Spell Skites and try to go that route. Like, we could kind of do what we did last round, where we only Pyroclasm on the draw and whatnot. So maybe that's better. You know, maybe we just sideboard how we did against the Zoo deck. So we bring in these Skites. This is 62. Remands are pretty bad here, actually. Could see just cutting all the remands. Maybe Pyroclasm is just better than remand. I could also see Dispel too. So maybe that instead of the Clasms? Maybe we're not supposed to have all these commands. Pyroclasm seems like a much better card than Kolagon's Command anyway. Command is certainly potent. Yeah. I could see just doing this. On the play at least, and then on the draw we can just become a control deck. So, hand is good. Let's try and put up a fight this game. Let's try and actually win some matches. So, get the Dark Slick Shores out there first. We have the twin combo rolled up. Don't need these lands. And don't need our black source either. So, probably going to play Fetch Land. And then Sulphur Falls will be our last land. So that we can't get Spreading Seized. I could see keeping either of these, really. Tarn would give us another red, even through Spreading Seas, if we had to, like, bolt something early. But realistically, I think we just bottom them both. And then if our opponent plays a 2-drop worth bolting, we can do that. And then maybe Pestermite the Vial upkeep. Relic's not bad. We'll hold for now. And I think since our opponent is so land light, we're probably going to end up winning this one. If they draw another land, maybe there's some stuff we have to play around. But for the most part, I think we could probably just tap our opponent's island and win the game from there. So hopefully that works out. But yeah, this looks like a win here. Here comes a Lord. I guess our opponent could just kill our Pestermite right now. But then we could just Pyroclasm, so not that bad. Yep. Do not want to untap your island. That would be kind of silly. Alright, we're Splinter Twin rich. Should sack the Curse Catcher there to make me pay the 1. I'm not going to do anything with the extra mana or anything, but it is still relevant. So Curse Catcher, I think I will just let stay. And then I will Snapcaster a Serum Visions while we can, when our opponent is tapped down and has the relic. Hopefully find another Deceiver or Pestermite. These are none of the above. So I could conceivably see putting Splinter Twin on Snapcaster if our opponent didn't have the relic. That's a thing that a lot of people don't normally play for, so it's certainly relevant. Okay, so clearly representing another Lord, I guess a Regery. Oh, can't block that one. So I can block the Lord. He puts in a Lord. I could bolt it. Then he Curse Catchers it, and then my Snapcaster just dies. So I guess I just don't even block. Keep forgetting about the Island Walk, of course. Island Walk, kind of a big game. So now we'll see what you got up your sleeve. I'm just gonna bolt this now because there's a possibility that this could be Akira. Is a Regery like I thought, so that's good. Take your other Aether Vial. And then I guess just play a Spellskite. Certainly could have used that earlier. And we have a blocker, so I think we can just attack with this. Well, no, I should have kept this back, I guess, because these things don't Island Walk anymore. So now it's time for the Relic to get cashed in. Our black source is gone, but that's fine. Now if we draw another bolt, I like our spot because we have the Snapcaster. So yeah, we traded 2 for 2. Maybe that's not the wisest thing. Well, there's Deceiver. So I guess there's no real point in attacking anymore. So tap the vial so they can't get a free 3 mana. Although I don't think that really changes anything. Now we go for it. Spellskite back up, no less. Alright. So on to game 3, and now we can become the control deck. Pester Mites are pretty good, actually. Probably better than Deceivers. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I like this configuration. Muldrifter's a little too slow. So I don't really want to be messing with those. Maybe Tassigurs are not correct. Because of the relics. But it's really not that hard to sneak one in there. It's whether or not it gets like Vapor Snagged and then they relic us and maybe it can't come back down anymore. I can see keeping in some of the twin combo, but I don't think that's entirely necessary. I think I'd rather just not draw any of it. So our hand has no land. And this hand is reasonable. Although, you know, we have these 2 Dispels, which are not great. So... I could see fetching Basic Island, but I don't think that helps me all that much because of Spreading Seas. I'd rather give my opponent more things that they have to spread. So basically just looking for removal at this point to go with our Snapcaster. We have these Dispels and Pestermite, which are not very good. There's the Relic. Cryptic. Cryptic, I think, is going to be a little too slow. Plus, we don't have our 4th land, but there's a Lightning Bolt. Relic is probably going to mess us up. Maybe we should have played our land, but... Our Tarn, I mean. But I don't want to shuffle away the Lightning Bolt no matter what, so I don't think it really matters. Like, there's nothing that my opponent casts that I would want to shuffle away a Lightning Bolt to Spell Snare. Alright, so the Relic's getting cashed in, which is good, because then we have Bolt Snap. Assuming our opponent does not have a 2nd Relic. Yep. Fair enough. So I think I'm just going to Pestermite, untap my land, and Bolt the Master. I'm going to lose the Bolt to the Relic, unfortunately. And I think I just want to fetch a Mountain here, even though I have multiple blue spells. Maybe I should just get a blue-black. That kind of makes more sense. Because we have a bunch of Kolaghan's commands that we want to draw. So we're kind of throwing away multiple cards here. Like, our hand right now basically does nothing. Because we're, like, all tapped low and stuff. And continually tapping low. But I don't think there's any other real way to do it. Like, we could not play the Pestermite. We could just bolt the thing. But then I think we're just wasting mana. Because they're not going to play anything that we could, like, snare or dispel anyway. And our Snapcaster's not really doing anything. So, like, we could have snared this, but our opponent would likely just not play into Spell Snare. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think our opponent should have Relic'd on our turn, or on their turn, just to get rid of the Bolt right now. Because now we're going to pass the turn, they're going to Relic us, and we're just going to play Snapcaster, which is going to force them to blow the Relic. But we're probably just going to die to fishies. Oh, wow. Just let it resolve. That's impressive. Definitely fine with that outcome. Pestermite gets dismembered, which I'm down with. Now our opponent only has 2 cards and is not viling in anything, so actually kind of like our spot, assuming nothing too terrible happens. Maybe when we're on the control plan, the dispels are not very good. Could certainly see that being the case, because this has been kind of an embarrassment. So Aether Vial is on 4. That could be a problem. So hopefully no Master Waves. Oh, that's not good. We'll try to catch the Master on attack with the Snapcaster. Otherwise, I think we just Pyroclasm away the Elementals. When I was playing Grixis Control, I actually caught Terminate for a Go for the Throat, both because of mana considerations, but also because it killed Master Waves. And this deck actually has nothing that kills Master, so kind of a big deal. Try to dispel that thing. Hopefully opponent does not have another one, or like a Spell Pierce. So the Relic is getting blown. Try and draw another answer. Hopefully it is not forthcoming. Alright. Favorable trade. Engage. Another Aether Vial. So we could play this Dark Slick Shores, but that opens us up to getting our Blood Crypt tech edged, which I definitely don't want, since that's our only red source. So Dispel was good there. But are we going to find a use for this second Dispel? I'm guessing not. What is this? Marrow Reejery. Cannot snare that. Now we can play our Tarn. And Snapcaster is on D against the Reejery. It's not the best place to be. Ideally would get our opponent to commit another Merfolk, but if it's a Lord, then this Pyroclasm's not going to do anything, which will be really sad. So maybe we should have just played Dark Slick Shores that turn. Then next turn we could have 5 mana. So like if we drew... No, because I guess if we get edged... We'll say we don't get edged. Then we could have Kolaghan's Command and Pyroclasm, which would be nice. Alright, so here comes a Lord. Now we're probably dead. Surprised the Mutavault's not coming in. Yeah, I guess maybe I should have stuck with the twin package if, like, Relic is going to beat me up so hard. I don't know. Yeah, then we have, like, these stupid Spell Skites and Dispels that don't really help us. Why would our opponent keep open 4 mana? Not really sure what I'm hoping to accomplish here. Alright, so we're going to drop from that event and hop in an 8-player queue, I guess, considering we kind of just got beat up pretty badly. So we'll see how that goes, I suppose.